Secretary, do we have a quorum?
All 7 districts are present, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. For the record, there is a quorum. So, an announcement of this meeting of Seguin Independent School District that has been duly called, and a notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act of Section 551.043 of the Texas Government Code. Now we will move on to the Pledge of the United States flag and the Texas flag. And may I please ask Dr. Gorodo, would you please lead us in the pledge? Everyone please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, indivisible.
Thank you. Let us now have a moment of silence. Thank you. And now, Mr. Secretary.
Yes, I need to call for the orders of the day, please, sir.
Let's get a motion to...
Item number, let's see, campus, recognition presentation, and the closed session.
So we have a motion to call for the orders of the day for the campus recognition presentation, followed by with the closed session for discussion. Do I have a second? The motion has been made and a second by Mr. Holt to call for the orders of the day. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. No opposition. That motion passes. So with that, for the sake of the kiddos, we are now going to go into the campus recognitions presentation. And Dot Whitman, if you would please come to the podium and fill us in on what we got going on.
Good evening. Sean Hoffman is at a conference this week, so we have the great honor of introducing tonight's performance or presentation. It's the littlest matadors of the district, and a great bunch of kids they are. We have Dr. Soledad Ramirez, principal of the campus, that we would like to bring up. She has several staff members and a great turnout of parents and family members to watch their little ones in action. So without further ado, Dr. Ramirez, the floor is yours.
Good evening. Oh, I'm really proud to be here, and our children are really raring to go. We've got 4 classrooms. Mrs. Adame's classroom, Mrs. Lampus's classroom, and Mrs. Medina's classroom, and Mrs. Ramirez's classroom. And they're going to do a chant, alphabet chant, and what they do is they sing it. Then they get through, and then we have the bilingual class is going to do a song called We Know the Opposites. Then we have a video that we're going to show that is a finalist in a contest being run by the professional PR people. So, okay.
All right, let's have the chanters.
Friends. All right, you know this, right? Yeah. Okay, practice it, right? Ready? All right. A is for apple, apple. B is for bear, bear. C is for cat, cat. D is for dog, dog. E is for egg, egg. F is for fish, fish. G is for gate, gate. is for window. Window. X is for X-ray. X-ray. Y is for yo-yo. Yo-yo. Z is for zipper. Zipper.
Zebras, lambs, apples.
We know opposites, opposites, opposites. We know opposites. Sing with me. Front and back, front and back, front and back. Sing with me. Happy and sad, happy and sad, happy and sad. Sing with me. Left and right, left and right, left and right. Sing with me. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Sing with me. Loud and quiet, loud and quiet, loud and quiet. Sing with me. Open and shut, open and shut, open and shut. Sing with me. Hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. Sing with me. Stand and sit, stand and sit, stand and sit quietly.
Bienvenido a nuestra escuela de Paul. Señor Paul, nació un esclavo. Se alistó a la guerra civil. Él enseñó a los esclavos y liberarlos. El señor Paul ayudó a hacer esta escuela. Era para niños de color. Es para niños y para todos. Celebramos las escuelas públicas sistemas.
Dr. Ramirez, that was all the kids, correct? Fair. Let's give them another round of applause. They did an excellent job. Good job, kids. Thank you, parents, for bringing your kids here tonight for this presentation. Thank you. We will now move on to the next agenda item. Since we call for the orders of the day, we will now go into closed session with the pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, 551.074, 551.129, consultation with legal counsel, including possible telephone consultation with legal counsel if necessary, to address legal concerns, implications, and answer any legal questions regarding posted agenda items. And with the pursuant of Texas Government Code Section 551.074, this is the deliberation of appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee. Time now is 6:47. We'll go to closed session. 27, we'll call this meeting back to order. And with that, we will now move on to superintendent announcements. Mr. Rowe.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to congratulate our Lady Matador varsity basketball team for their fine season. The student athletes, Coach Lagwell and her staff pulled off a thrilling come from behind victory last Tuesday, and I was there, and it was awesome. Those kids came together, and then when they met in the center, we ran them completely out of town. It was awesome. So Coach did a great job. She led the team, and the kids and the parents were absolutely full of Matador pride. So that was awesome. They did fall short in Georgetown, but we'll get them next year. Last Friday, members of our Seguin ISD mariachi program performed at the annual Mazba conference in San Antonio. The musicians played for about 30 minutes straight, and it was a packed house. They set the standard, and they showed what a top-notch mariachi band can do, and got a standing ovation, and people wanted to know who was a part of that, and it was absolutely amazing to see those kids perform at that level. I know that I, along with the board members that were in attendance, received many well-deserved compliments for how our kids performed, how they carried themselves, and it was awesome. The Matador varsity Winter Guard took third overall and first in 5A at the Texas Educational Color Guard Circuit Contest in San Antonio, February 20th. Congratulations to those students. Heather Benton, Seguin High School Color Guard Director. Congratulations. That is something that's just awesome to see our kids do that. Seguin High School's powerlifting team recently competed at the Rattlers powerlifting meet. The girls team finished second and the boys tied for third. Our powerlifters are doing a great job, and we look forward to their continued success. The work of our future scientists will be on display tomorrow during the elementary science fair. Everybody show up and let's see what these young scientists have put together for us. It will be held tomorrow at district office from 8 to 10:30 a.m. An award ceremony will take place at 10:45. The Seguin community is invited to join us at the 13th annual Seguin ISD Technology Fair. This year, we will be celebrating our students' work in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. There will be presentations by students on various projects, student artwork, science fair projects, and a robotics expedition, hands-on activities, and much more. We'll have a guest demonstration of technology in the workplace. This event is Thursday from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the district office again. So show up. This weekend, our award-winning Navy JROTC program will travel to College Station to compete in the state drill meet. We're going to win. I mean, that's what I've been told. They're going up there to take it, and that's what we want for them. You know, we want them to get up there and represent. Please join me in wishing the cadets as they bring back the state title, and we can start bragging about it. So I'm ready for it. I know y'all are too. We would like to acknowledge Dr. Wise and his dual credit speech students that were here at our meeting earlier. I think that they left. They still here? If you are, raise your hands. Please stand up. Okay, yeah, they left. And then finally, Dr. Whitman, do you have an announcement? Okay.
President Flores, Superintendent Roan, Board of Trustees, and community audience. I'm gonna go ahead and turn around since I visited with you guys in there. We'd like to make an announcement based on the superintendent's recommendation. As you know, we have posted an interview for a new athletic director, head football coach for Seguin ISD. After going through the process and receiving close to 80 applications, we narrowed that pool and had a committee yesterday and interviewed and went through the process there. We are excited to announce that Mr. Travis Bush will be the new recommendation for the athletic director, head football coach. Travis, who's in the audience, can you come stand up here real quick?
Welcome, sir.
I want to brag on Coach Bush's accomplishments over the years and what he can bring to Seguin ISD based on the hire from the superintendent going through the process. Travis has been around athletics many, many years. His dad coached in Gregory Portland back in the day, and he also was a pretty famous high school player. He's been coaching in the arena since 2000, and he has been at every level you can imagine, high school, collegiate, and professional. His most recent tour has been with the Buffalo Bills. That's the NFL team, but has spent several years with TCU, Texas State, University of Houston. He helped start the program right up the road under Coach Coker at UTSA. While at Texas State, he was there from 2004 to 2010. I know way too much about you right now, Coach. I've looked at a lot of information. But I want to read a quick quote from the quarterback of Texas State. His name is, let me find it, Bradley George. He's been the quarterback. This is from Bradley George. I can't count how many coaches I've had over roughly 25 years involved in athletics and multiple sports, but Coach Bush is hands down the one I learned the most from and respect the most. I think I speak for plenty of his former players. It is truly an honor and a blessing to play for him at Texas State. There were many offensive school records broken in my time, but none of them would have occurred if Coach Bush wasn't the man behind the scenes setting his players up for success. I would still to this day follow him as if he asked me to. There are several that have said that in their testimonials, that not only were they successful football players, but better men in the process. And that's a goal that's priceless in our book as educators. Coach Bush has talked with me earlier today. He's honored and ready for this opportunity. He has his family here tonight, his wife Dee and his 2 young boys. But one of the first comments he met when the superintendent offered him the position was, quote, "Let's get to work." So Matadors, I'd like to announce our new athletic director, head football coach, Travis Bush.
This started off right with a cap and a Matador shirt. This is like signing day right here. I'll tell you right now, this guy is inspirational. He's going to move his family here. He's going to put his kids in our school, and all of his references are first class and top notch. I'm proud that he's here. Honored to be a part of his vision, and honored to be able to bring such high quality people to our district. The last thing I want to say is that I think in our history we had something like 30 applicants. We worked this out where we could do little things different, but we had over 80 apply for this position. So this is the cream of the crop right here. Go ahead, please.
I'm not doing mics. I like to move around when I talk, so I don't need a mic. But I really appreciate this opportunity. I'm excited to be here tonight. I'm excited to be a part of Seguin Independent School District, and most importantly, to be a part of the Seguin community. And it's a family decision. We made this decision as a family. We want to be here. We want to be a part of this, and main reason right now is the leadership that's in place. And Stetson Roan and the administration, Ishmael Flores and this board, and Hector Esquivel and the high school, our visions are aligned in the right direction, in the same direction to make this the best place it's ever been. and to do things better than they've ever been done before, and that's our vision here. The second reason is the community and the kids of Seguin. I've been around this area for years. I've commuted, I recruited this area and recruited this school in my years at college, and the one thing you always got with Seguin kids, you knew they were going to be tough. You knew they were going to give you relentless effort, and they're going to fight their tails off, and that's what I want to be around. And that's the stuff you can't coach. You coach everything else, but boy, attitude and effort, you can't coach that, and that's what I want to be around. And that's another thing. I want to put my kids in this school. I wanted to get back into high school coaching because I want to coach my kids, and I want them to be a part of this community. And so you guys can understand, I'm going to coach you like you're my own and treat you like you're my own, and I'm going to surround you with coaches that are going to do the same. So I'm excited to be here. I'm ready. You can tell I'm ready to go to work, and I'm passionate. I'm passionate about what I do, and our goal is to do things better than ever been done before, and strive to be the best at everything we do. And that's going to be our goal, to build champions on and off the field and compete for championships in all sports at all levels. And that's going to be our goal. And it's going to be a lot of work. It's not going to happen overnight, but I'm ready to get in here next week and start this journey with you guys back there and everyone in this room. And it's going to take everybody. We're talking all sports, boys, girls, junior high, all the way up. It's going to take everybody in this room, everybody on this board, the administration, and this school, but we're all going to do it together. And I'm with you. I'm excited to be here. It's going to be one great partnership, and I'm ready to go to work. So I appreciate it. I appreciate this opportunity. Appreciate you guys, and hope y'all can feel my excitement. I'm ready to go. So. Thanks again. Thank you.
Welcome, Coach Travis. That's good. Ski matador now. All right. Excellent. Mr. Roan, is that all for the announcements, sir? Superintendent announcements?
Yes.
Very good, very good. We will now move on to the next agenda item. This is the first reading and consideration of a proposed board policy changes in accordance with TASB Localized Policy Manual Update 20.05.01-CCG Local and EIE. Mr. Rowan?
Unless there are any questions, this is straight across the board TASB. Attorneys.
First reading, okay, this is the first reading. So, hearing no questions. Okay, we'll move on to the next agenda item. Next agenda item is another first reading consideration of the revised board policy EIA local. Once again, this is the first reading. Mr. Rowe.
Same thing.
Okay, this is the first reading. Board members, are there any questions? You have had time to obviously review this. So once again, if anything does come up, we'll direct questions to administration. Hearing none. Okay. Yes, sir?
This will begin the 2016-2017 school year, correct?
Dr. Goodwin, thank you. Okay, very good. All right, hearing no other comments, we'll move on to the next agenda item. And this one is the expansion of the credit by exam dates for 2015-2016. Mr. Rowe.
It was pretty well covered in the book. All we're doing is offering 2 more opportunities for the kids to do it, and we're going to incur those costs.
Very good, very good. Additional testing dates of March 22nd to 24th and June 14th through 16th in 2016. Are there any questions or comments from the board members? All right, hearing none, we will now move on to the next agenda item. And, and this is audience with the board. Seguin ISD Board of Trustees designates the time for the audience participation at the beginning of each meeting to hear persons who desire to make comments in accordance with the board policy BED local. Those wishing to speak shall sign up before the meeting begins, stating the concern or noting the agenda item they wish to address. Audience participation is limited to 5 minutes. Audience of more than 5 persons shall appoint a representative, and the board shall not deliberate any subject that is not posted on the agenda. We did have 2 individuals to speak. Dr. Wise, as indicated, was going to speak but left. Board members, he did leave a handout for your reading. So if there are any questions with that, we'll address them to administration, Mr. Rowe. Very well. Okay, so the next individual is Mr. Paul Hostetter.
Good evening, distinguished members of the board.
Good evening, sir.
Superintendent Rome. And I'm probably gonna look like a putz up here right now because you guys announced a new football coach tonight. And I'm, Coach Bush, glad to have you here. But we've got another little problem that came up, and I've got 12 football players back there that have been pretty upset for the last couple of weeks. Back on February the 8th, I called Principal Esquivel and told him that there was a bunch of football players that would like to meet with him. He came in at 7:30 the next morning, he met with them, and those boys expressed the fact that they would like to address the superintendent about their football program. They're coming up on having 4 football coaches in the past 3 years. Now guys, we can't fix the past, we can only go forward. But, that being said, Mr. Rowan sent an email to my wife on the 12th saying that this problem had been taken care of and these players have been addressed. They have not. What kind of message are we sending our young men? These are the future leaders of our community. And for lack of a better word, we've ignored them. And, you know, to be honest, somebody, I think, owes them an explanation. If it just took 10 minutes to go down and say, fellas, we're going to make the best decision we can for you. That may not be what you want at this point in time, but we're going to hear you out, what your needs and what your thoughts are. It's our program. It's our football team. Without them, there is no football team.
That's right.
Without them, you don't have anything.
And when this stops being about our kids, it's about ego and politics. And we have no place in this school district for that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we will now move on to action items. This is approval of the board minutes revised December 8, 2015, of the regular meeting, January 12, 2016 public hearing meeting, January 12, 2016 regular meeting, and January 22nd, 2016 special meeting. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Holt. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Thomas. Motion is made. Second. Is there any discussion? Or any corrections? No discussion, no corrections. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. No opposition, and the motion passes. Next agenda item is the approval of the roof repair and replacement at McQueenie and Weiner Elementary Schools. Mr. Rowe.
So, a few weeks after I got here, I got a phone call that the McQueenie roof was leaking, and there were a lot of people mad at me because of that. And so we worked diligently over the weekend to put patches where they needed to be put so that we could stop the water from coming inside the school. And I put those patches on because it was actually the night that it rained, if y'all remember, was the night before the first day of school, and it hadn't rained in quite a while. And upon that patch that we put on there, we determined that there were some roofing issues. And so I put in place a plan to correct that. It's been kind of difficult to do roofing projects when school's going on and that stuff. Those of you that have had a roof go on at your house, when you're in it, it gets kind of loud and there's, you know, some definite distractions. So we put a patch on it, and what I'm asking the board to do is approve some money that was set aside for issues like this as they arise in the budget, and to repair these 2 roofs. They are in need.
You've heard the recommendation for administration. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Reyes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Guerra. Motion has been made and a second. Is there any discussion or questions? Yes, sir, Mr. Holt.
In regards to alternate number 1, I know that there was no
approved budget for that particular line item, but is that something that we might need to consider as a board to go ahead and apply the money for, or approve the money for, or is it something that we can wait for the summer or so forth? Just a little bit of elaboration on that if you could.
Okay, so you're talking about the roof repairs, correct?
Alternate.
Yeah, can you speak to that?
Sure. Alexander, please.
Yes, the alternate involved replacing the ceilings and insulation and cleaning. There's some damaged insulation because they had leaks before. But it can be done at any time in a future date or in the summertime. And bid is a separate item.
Yeah, well, but the big thing is that getting specifically to the point, once we complete those roofing repairs, if there are still funds left in there, then we wouldn't have to roll because that would be part of that scope.
Okay.
So if we get them down and they do it under cost and then we have some money left over, then we wouldn't have to come to the board for moving it because the money's still in that account for that project.
And it's not easier, and it's not easier to do it all at once in case some get damaged during the process?
Well, it won't get done during school,
Yeah,
so it'll be like summertime work.
I see.
One's on the inside of the building and one's on the outside of the building. So we'll do the outside of the building to stop the water from coming in. And then when the kids get out for the summer and we have some time to shut down that wing, then we'll fix the ceiling.
Very good.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any other questions for board members? Hearing none, I think we do have a motion and a second. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. No opposition. The motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Roman. Alrighty, now we move on to next agenda item. This is consideration and approval of the interlocal agreements with the City of Seguin for the Latchkey Program and Day Camp Program. Mr. Roman.
The Latchkey program is described in the packet. Basically, it's an interlocal agreement that we're just moving forward with. We've done it year after year. There's been no significant additions or changes to that. So unless you have some questions, Dot, do you?
I just want to say we have Jack Jones in the city here as well, if there's any questions.
Very good. You have heard the recommendation from administration. Is there any questions? I'm sorry. Motion has been made by Mr. Reyes. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Holt. Now, are there any questions from the board members? Okay. Mr. Jones, thank you for continuing this program, sir. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, thank you, sir. So, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. No opposition. That motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Alrighty, next agenda item is the approval of tax collections reports for December 2015. I have a motion from Mr. Holt. Do I have a second? Second from Mr. Reyes. Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. No opposition. Motion passes. Next agenda item is now the approval for the tax collection reports for January 2016. Motion made by Mr. Holt. Do I have a second? I'm sorry. Mr. Thomas, I have a motion and a second. Again, this is a tax collection report for January. Is there any discussion?
I just had one question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Thomas.
I noticed we're roughly 5% delinquent compared to collections over the previous year. Do we have any ideas as to why that's deficient?
I asked the same question earlier. It's not on the agenda.
That's right. Can we turn it over to Mr. Rowe?
No, this is the deal. I mean, we can't, I can't give you an answer for what another area of collection is doing. I mean, I can't give you an answer for that. I can just tell you that the numbers are the numbers and we'll keep tracking them and I'll get back with you when I know a little bit more about it. But right now, it's just, they're not as effective, I guess.
Mr. Rowe, would you please reach out to Guadalupe County office and let them know that the board members are inquiring about this delinquency. Please, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? All right. Hearing no other questions, motion was made in a second. So all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. No opposition. That motion passes. Next agenda item is approval of the budget reports and amendments for December 2015. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Reyes and a second by Mr. Guerra. Is there any discussion for the budget reports and amendments for December 2015? Hearing none, no question. So motion is made and there was a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. No opposition. That motion passes. And the next one is the approval for the budget reports and amendments for January 2016. Do I have a motion? Motion is made by Mr. Holt. Do I have a second? A second by Mr. Reyes. This is now the January budget reports and amendments. Are there any questions in regards to this agenda item? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. No opposition. That motion passes. All right, here it goes. Next agenda item. This is consideration and approval of an order by the Board of Trustees of the Seguin Independent School District authorizing the issuance of the Seguin Independent School District Unlimited Tax Refunding Bond Series 2016, levying a continuing direct annual ad valorem tax for the payment of the bonds, prescribing the form, terms, conditions, and resolving other matters incident and related to the issuance, sale, and deliver of the bonds, including the approval and distribution of an official statement pertaining thereto, authorizing the execution of a paying agent registrar agreement, an escrow and trust agreement, and a purchase contract, complying with the letter of representations on file with the depository trust company, delegating the authority to certain members of the Board of Trustees and district staff to execute certain documents relating to the sale of the bonds, and providing an effective date. Mr. Rowan.
Well, obviously, we refinanced, or we sold some bonds early. That saved about $9 million when we were looking at our bonds from the $42 million sell-off that we were holding. I advanced that because over the next 15, 20 years, save the taxpayers $9 million. The board gave me permission to aggressively move forward with that instead of the continued plan. So we did that. That will pay dividends. The second thing is that we've aggressively looked at our current bonds that we had in the holding previous to that, interest rates right, and so take it over, sir.
Mr. Quiroga.
Honorable President, members of the board, Mr. Rowan, thank you for having me here this evening. For the record, my name is Victor Quiroga with Frost Bank Capital Markets, and we've had the honor of representing the district as your financial advisor for 10 years now. We visited with Mr. Rowan in early January to present to him a refinancing opportunity of the district's 2008 bond issue. We're here this evening to summarize that refinancing opportunity and ask for permission to pursue that refinancing in the next couple of weeks so we can lock in a favorable interest rate and generate interest cost savings for the district's taxpayers. Before we summarize that refinancing, we prepared a very brief presentation here for you. The first page after the cover sheet, since talking to Mr. Rowan and him giving us the verbal approval to start with the document preparation, we prepared about 75% of those documents. As part of the process, we do visit with Moody's and Standard & Poor's rating agencies who currently have ratings on the district. Mr. Hilberg did a wonderful job in visiting with those two rating agencies past couple weeks. A few days ago, we heard from Moody's and Standard & Poor's that they've affirmed our underlying rating, our true credit rating, and they're both at AA3 and a AA-. It's a very strong credit rating. However, when we market the bonds in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be utilizing the state's permanent school fund guarantee that allows us to use their rating to market our bonds at the AAA rating, which is the safest rating available, which will help us get the lowest interest rate possible on refinancing. The next page is a summary of the interest savings. As they stand now, these are not final yet. They won't be final until we go into the market in the next couple of weeks. We're looking at refinancing just under $35 million of the district's outstanding 2008 bond issue. The current interest rate, if we were to do nothing on those bonds and continue paying on those bonds, would be to pay an interest rate of 4.81% on those bonds until 2035. Based on current market conditions, we could refinance those bonds potentially to a 2.59% interest rate, which will generate a savings of approximately $4.3 million in interest cost savings to the district's taxpayers. When we look at these refinancings, we look at the net present value savings ratio. Right now it's at a healthy 10.21%. Anything above 4% is considered a very prudent refinancing to consider. If you go to the next page, this is to illustrate the annual savings by changing a high interest rate for a lower interest rate. We're not going to be restructuring these bonds. We're not going to extend the payment. We're still going to pay them as scheduled in 2035. All we're doing, again, is just switching a high interest rate for a low interest rate. The next page is a term sheet. This is basically just a summary of the transaction. The payments will be scheduled and stay the same as they currently are. The three underwriters that we're recommending to help us market these bonds are FTN Financial, Citigroup, and Hilltop Securities, all firms that have previous experience with the district, and we feel confident will help us get the lowest interest rate possible. The last page, ladies and gentlemen, is just a very brief history of the refinancings that the district has pursued in the last 10 years. You can see there in 2006, we pursued a refinance and saved just under $770,000. 2010, another refinancing that generated savings of approximately $438,000. 2013, just over $1 million in savings, and potentially for this savings, we're looking at $4.3 million in interest cost savings. For the past 10 years, the board has been very prudent in pursuing these refinancings and could potentially total interest cost savings of approximately $6.5 million of taxpayer dollars. I'll be happy to answer any questions, but basically the action you're taking tonight, the bond attorneys are not here tonight, and they're responsible for writing that big paragraph, but basically what that is you're allowing us to move forward on the, finish up the document preparation, going to the market. March 8th is what we're planning, and then we can enter that market and we can lock in the interest rate, and you delegate the authority to sign the final documents to lock in that interest rate to Mr. Rohn or Mr. Flores at that time, instead of us having to reconvene at another time.
Any questions for board members? Mr. Quiroga, good job in saving the taxpayers close to $4.3 million in refinancing, so keep up the good work, administration, Mr. Rohn and Mr. Quiroga.
So in the last, how many years have you been doing this?
10 years.
10 years.
Yes, sir.
So this will be basically a $5 million a year.
Yes, that's right.
That's like a four-fold increase.
Yeah,
That's
right.
pretty cool, isn't
Yes.
it? Yes, yes.
Good. Excellent work. Thank you, Mr. Quiroga. Always good stuff here. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
I think Mr. Holt got that, and second by Mr. Reyes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. No opposition, motion passes. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And next agenda item is the discussion and possible action to approve superintendent's evaluation instrument. This one we'll call Mr. Ben Castillo, please.
Yes, Mr. Board President, members of the board, Mr. Rohn, good evening. What this item is before you is the evaluation instrument to evaluate the superintendent. This is just basically a procedural step that the board needs to take before the actual evaluation takes place of the superintendent. I can tell you that this evaluation instrument is in accordance with all board policy, state statute, and TA guidelines when it comes to the evaluation of the superintendent. But if there are any questions or concerns, let me know and we could adjust accordingly.
Are there any questions from board members? This is, once again, this is the evaluation instrument, which is, correct me if I'm used in several other districts throughout the state of Texas. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. No questions? Do I have a motion for approval for the superintendent's evaluation instrument? Motion made by Mr. Hope, second by Mr. Reyes. Once again, any discussion? Yes, sir.
And I won't hold you to the exact date, but when is his actual evaluation date scheduled? Do we have that on the books yet?
We're not sure. Usually boards evaluate superintendents around this time before they actually start evaluating their administrators.
I think, yeah, Mr. Castillo, and I think with discussion that we'll have with you and other board members based on their schedule, we're looking at something before spring break, so possibly the 10th. I forgot what that week would be, but
okay.
So we'll look at that. So everyone. So we'll need to discuss that then. He says March 8th is our next meeting. It should be the second week, second Tuesday of the week. So, okay, well, we'll have some discussion. I'll have discussion with Mr. Castillo, and then I'll review with all the board members so we can move forward on the evaluation. Okay, that we did not vote yet. Okay, any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Holt. Any other questions? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor to approval of superintendent's evaluation instrument, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. No opposition. Motion passes. Thank you, sir. And it is now 8:01. Any announcements for board member before we adjourn? No announcements. It is 8:01. This board meeting is adjourned. Thank you.